recording. Okay, so if you open up your exported frames that out of ToonBoom, we're going to, now we have a PDF. Now we can open up the PDF in Photoshop, but you have to open it as, and then you'll have all these files that you then have to save manually to individual files before you can do anything with them. So it's a lot easier if you export them out of Acrobat. It has to be Acrobat Pro or Acrobat DC. And we're going to extract all the pages 1 through 25. We're going to extract them as separate files. I'm going to, who's talking in the background? I'm sorry. Since we're recording this, either mute or asks the people to be quiet. That would be good. All right, so I'm going to do new folder. I'm going to say Toon Hack. I love clever names. Anyway, so we're going to choose that folder to throw these things into. It's always good to make folders that have names that are sensible so that you know what to do, where to find them when you need them. So now I'm going to go to my classroom. Here's my Toon Hack. And as you can see, it's exported all of these files for me. So here's each page. Now it's got all the storyboard crap around it, but that's okay. Once we've done this, one little thing you have to do that Acrobat doesn't do is, and it becomes a pain if you, once you put it into Photoshop, is it doesn't do a 2-digit number. For whatever reason, it doesn't put the 0 in there. So that's easy to do. You just click on each one, add the 0, and this should work the same on whether it's on a Mac or on a PC. And it should work virtually the same whether you're using Creative Cloud or Creative Suite. There's a couple places that are slightly different, but they're not impossible to find. Okay, so now I've got all these properly numbered. Hello, kitty cats, knocking things over. Now that I've done that, I can actually close this, and I'm going to open up my Photoshop. And what I'm going to do is, some of you guys know how to do this already because I do this on 122. This is how I figured out how to animate like a loser here. Scripts load files into stack, which does exactly what it says it's going to do. It's going to take all these individual files that I'm going to find, and I'm going to select all of these, and it's going to actually load them into a Photoshop file. Oh yes, my cats, the destruction they bring indeed. There's 5 of them, you see. Every morning I have to walk carefully through the house looking for the little piles of vomity hairballs everywhere. But oh my goodness, I'm recording this. I shouldn't say such things. Now, it better be building me the Photoshop file or I'm going to be seriously upset with it. It's taking awful. Oh, it is. Good. See how it's building a stack? It's opening each layer and putting it into the Photoshop file for me so that I don't have to manually do it, which is a real pain in the butt. Oh yes, of course. Somebody's going to come right around at the end of this and say, oh, it's easy to do that. You can do this. But it's okay to know how to animate in two different programs. So, and I think that the Photoshop program is a pretty easy way to do it and could be very useful for some people. I think one of the reasons it's so slow is the images themselves are quite large. Oh my God, it's a 600 megabyte file. My computer is going to explode. We can fix that. Okay, once it gets the last one in there, one fingers crossed. So cute. Okay, very good. Before I do anything else, I'm going to look at the image size. And sure enough, it's at 300 dpi. Oh my goodness gracious, 611. Let's change it down to 72. It goes from 20 megabytes to 1.2. So doing that first. Oh, DPI, that's dots, well, DPI is dots per inch. On the computer, it's actually PPI, which is pixels per inch. A screen resolution, say you'll learn a little bit of something no matter where you go. The screen resolution is normally, and opened up all those other layers. Okay, so let me save this guy here. Save as, fingers crossed. Save and save often. Okay, now I'm actually going to close all the other files, and you can go close all, and I'm not going to have it save anything because I already saved the one I wanted to keep, and it should just close them. Okay, good. Now we've got our PSD, and I will put this away so we don't need to look at that. Now, once you get your files into your stacked layer, whoa, you okay? Oh, Guthrie, hello. Hold down the Alt or Option, depending on if you're a PC or a Mac, hold down the Alt or Option key, click on the eyeballs, and then once you've got that, you can hold down Alt or Option, and using the bracket key on your computer, you can actually walk down each frame of the, whoa, you did get the ease in and ease out. Good job. That is working quite nicely. You can see when it's going fast enough, it's working quite nicely. Okay, so, and this is going to be even funnier. This is going to crack you up. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to trim off, I don't want to trim off the end of the, well, I can trim off the end of the ball. We're just going to crop it so that we don't have all that other garbage on there anymore, which we'll lose that information, but we've got it saved elsewhere. All right, so.
I remember that assignment.
It's all right. Now that I've done that, and everything's all in order, and I don't have to do any manipulation, you can like go through, if you want to see if your frames are lining up, the trick that I do is I put the top one on 50%, so you can see through it to the one beneath it. So if you wanted to make sure that if you needed to adjust anything or wanted to line things up a little differently, you're able to do it that way. Let me get out of the crop tool. Crop tool's not a good place to be. All right, so, but it's already lined up, so I don't have to do that. So I'm turning that back up to 100%. And back up to 1. I'm going to go back up to number 1 there. Okay. Oh, but I missed my fingers crossed. I got to pull that down. Oh, I cropped it off. Oh well. C'est la vie. We'll just throw this one away. We don't need it for now. So the next one's going to be this. Okay. Once you do that, here comes the scary part, okay? This is always the scary part for me because once you do it, you can't undo it. You open up the panel called Timeline. And when you do that, there'll be a little box at the bottom that's I'm being really slow and cautious here because I want to make sure that I tell you the right thing. You will have a choice of either create video timeline or create frame animation. Sometimes it comes up default as video timeline. You don't want that. You want create frame animation. Click on frame animation. It puts in the first frame. Then, this is so intuitive, it's not even funny. It's not intuitive at all. You click on the flyout menu and turn this guy, whoops, click on the flyout menu, create new layer for each, no, make frames from layers. That's what we want. And it's going to put in all the frames into our animation strip here. So now we have a frame animation. We're not dealing with a timeline. Then you can play it. It's actually playing backwards. Whee! Okay. So that's okay that it's playing backwards, and we could actually ping pong it. But what I wanted to do is to go one way and then the other way. So sometimes when I load stuff in, it comes in backwards.
Am I fashionably late?
Fashionably late. Yes, and this is perfect because I'm fixing a problem. Then you're going to do your Wacom thing while I go grab my daughter. When I come back, if you guys still want to draw, I'm up for drawing. So shift click on all of them and go to the flyout menu again and reverse frames. So now it will play forwards instead of backwards. Now, since to make it come back the other way, you would actually do that clever trick where you select all of them. I'm going to, don't have to do it in the, I've never done this before. Okay, so I'm going to copy. I could be doing this wrong, but let's hope that I'm not. I'm going to copy the frames, and then I'm going to try to paste frames after selection. Yes, that will work. So now I'm going to have twice as many frames. Isn't that so cool? Of course, these are probably, it's probably going to play it twice because I didn't turn it around. Let's see. Yeah. What? One, two, da, 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 da. Yep. Okay, it's playing through twice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab that after 25, 24, 25. I'm going to take 25 through the end of the line. Oh, come on. No, 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 no. I don't want to do that. Stay where you are. You can go away for now. Go all the way to the end of the line. Okay, so I'm going to shift click between 25 and 48 and reverse frames again. Now, if all goes well, it should play, I need to play it from the beginning. It should play going swing from the left, going to the right, and then back again. Now I know it says something in the instructions about looping and how if you want something to loop, you need to remove the doubled up frame in. Well, we can loop this 3 times if we want to. I think it's playing way too slowly, even though it's only it's on 0 per second. It's still playing slowly, but it's playing much faster than it was playing before, right? So we got that far. That looks pretty good, actually. I like the easing in and easing out. You figured that out, and that looks nice. So stop playing. Once you've done this, you want to save. And I'm going to just want to see if I can turn this to slower. No, we can't get any less than 0 seconds. Oh, what if I put it on no delay? I just want to see what happens if I put all of these on no delay. Oh, select all frames. I don't know. I've never done that before, so I want to try it, see what happens. See if it plays faster. No, plays the same.
You use us as guinea pigs a lot.
What? I'm sorry?
I said you use us as guinea pigs a lot for things you've never tried before.
Well, yeah, because I don't know ToonBoom. And so when we're done with this, if anybody knows ToonBoom, they can just tell her the easy way to fix it in ToonBoom. I didn't know how to fix it in ToonBoom, so I'm fixing it in Photoshop. Okay, so now that I've done this, I'm going to actually export it. So you go to File, Photoshop File, Export, Render Video. And in the rendering of the video, frame rate is 24. That's fine. Movie, we want to put it in the same place we had it before, which is ToonHack. Always remember where you save your files. All frames, blah, blah, blah. I think QuickTime medium quality. I usually leave this, unless there's some reason why this is screwed up, it should be fine. And render it. So now it's going to make me a video. And now I have to go back to my file finder, which is on the other page. It's on my other computer, my other monitor, I mean. School. ToonHack. Here's my move. Now, this is the interesting thing about moves when you do this. is it comes up as an icon, which is kind of bad, but when I open it, it will convert it. So I don't know if that does it only on the Mac or if that does it for the PC too. But, wait, look at that. Whee! That's much better, isn't it? Now, why it's giving me a black frame at the beginning and the end, I don't know. I'd have to go and fiddle around with it. But that is certainly a little bit more like what we want. And then when we close it, it's going to, we have to save it as the converted move. And we want to do that into ToonHack. Okay, so that was successful. That actually worked. Except for the black frame at the beginning and the end, which I don't know what to do about. Let me see if I can make it loop. Play as a loop. Oh, and you can add a clip to the end in QuickTime. So those of you that were having problems adding your clips together, I think you can just add your clip to the end and just load them up that way in QuickTime, if you have a QuickTime program on your computer. If you don't, I don't know what to tell you. And I'm not sure how to make it play indefinitely, play looping. So that might take a little more hunting and pecking around, but I'm sure you can set it up so that it will loop. Okay, does that help? All right, I'm going to stop the recording now. All right.